Welcome. I think I set the stream to start at 11:45 p.m. a week from now. Whoops. Whoops.
Maybe next Sunday's game will be quick. You never know.
Yeah. Oops. Whatever. Well, hopefully, maybe some people will tune in. Maybe. I'm not counting on it. I tweeted it. That might help. Let's see. Maybe we'll get somewhere with some of the retweeting groups. Well, anyway, I put the tweet up. So
I got it already. I'm quick on this.
Oh, you got it.
Quick on this.
Got it. Okay. All right. Tell the people something.
I mean, I'm looking through the questions right now that you got from Britt and Akash, and wow, we have some good topics to talk about.
I know. They did excited. A good job. I give them an A+.
I do as well. Same with Brett. I see his in there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a worthy conversation point as well after tonight's game, and the weeks leading up to this.
Yeah, I give myself a C for today. I'm gonna give myself a passing grade. Give myself an A for the second week running, answering so many questions that Twitter decided that my account needed to be turned off. The second week, 2 straight weeks, so many questions answered that the account was turned off. What a surprise. I have sent in a support request. You think they've gotten back to me?
No.
Why would they? Why would they get back to me, right? I mean, man, Twitter. We got to talk about limiting my account because I'm being too helpful for the people. The people demand more answers, and you're preventing that from happening, Twitter. So the people won't be happy about that. They will not be happy. But luckily, I have the extra Twitter account that I can go in and answer the questions anyway.
That's always good.
Yeah, I came prepared.
You got a lot of them.
I actually feel like I had a pretty good week in start sit-ish this week, I think.
I think so as well. I think we both had a pretty good week.
Well, not about Dalvin Cook. That was not good. That part was not good.
Hey, we couldn't predict that. It was tough.
Yeah, but since we said the answer, it's our fault that he didn't score the points, right? I mean, that's how it works. You didn't know that?
I could have sworn we
didn't predict it. We didn't predict it. That's why he scored so many points when he was on people's benches. That's how it works, right? That's what I was told. That it was my fault.
I'm still catching up to this whole how it works thing.
That's what I was told, that it was my fault that the players didn't score the way that people wanted. That's what I've heard. So, next time, I'll block better. I'll block better, or block worse in this case. And I'll make sure that certain players catch the ball when they're supposed to. And I'll make sure to get my crystal ball for next week. So I make sure to make the predictions correctly by seeing into the future. That's what I'm going to do. Those are all the things I'm going to do. Not really.
One of those crystal balls.
Yeah.
My own fantasy teams.
They don't work, so they won't do you any good.
I've seen. It's
pseudoscience. Just like whatever Aaron Rodgers put in his body. Anyway, so what happened today?
Well, I mean, where do you want to start?
We can start anywhere.
Oh, gosh. I mean, we want to start with the fact that the Buffalo Bills need a running back more than like any other team needs a position in the NFL.
Oh, my God. I can't with this.
It's so true, though. I forget when was our first handoff? It was like early third?
Maybe. I don't remember.
I forget.
That was a long time ago.
It was the afternoon was a long time ago. Yeah. 7 total carries between the running backs. I think it was either end of the second, beginning of the third. Josh Allen has to do it all himself. I mean, they don't look good. The Bills.
No, they don't.
The comeback was nice, but sending it to OT down 21. But other than that, I mean, the receivers look good. Diggs, Knox, and Beasley all produced. Gabe Davis caught a touchdown. Devin Singletary had 6 receptions, but like Josh Allen had to do it all on the ground by himself. 109 yards and 12 carries and a touchdown.
Well, I mean, certain players were not even active for this game. Certain players that I heard that they were going to have a breakout year. Breakout year for Zach Moss. How's that going?
It's going as well as my Laviska Shenault pick.
I mean, it's going similarly to Ronald Jones.
Yeah, so and Trey Sermon.
Yeah, Trey Sermon's even worse because Trey Sermon's never been good. He's never done anything. At least, like, it's always better to be a has-been than a never was. You ever heard that saying?
Probably somewhere along the line, but do I remember it? No.
Yeah. So, I don't even know. I mean, Breida sucks. Singletary is a jag. Moss sucks. Is there anything else to say? I mean, I think Melvin Gordon would look good on this team, honestly. I do. Gordon still has juice, right? I mean, he still had juice today, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, both of them had juice today. I mean, I don't know if Javonte managers were tilting or celebrating.
Probably.
I don't know. It might have been a combo of the two.
It's one thing I've learned this week is it's difficult for some of us to maintain what I would call complex thoughts in our mind. A simple thought would be, Javonte Williams is great, so he should get all the carries. And that means that because of those things, then Melvin Gordon is washed. That's a simple thought process. It's very simple. That's in today's world where all you get is a 10 to 15 second soundbite or a 280 character, statement. That's how people think. That's how people think the reality is. That's not the reality. The reality is that Javonte Williams is an excellent running back. He's a future star in the NFL. He's better now than Melvin Gordon. But those things don't mean that Melvin Gordon is bad. Those are not the same. Those are two very different things. Melvin Gordon still has a lot of juice left. There's nothing wrong with him. I expect that he won't re-sign there, not because they wouldn't want him back, but because he's going to want to sign as a starter somewhere else. I think he can certainly be a starter.
Yeah.
Not a workhorse, but a starter. Why not? So I do think that there's some of the discourse around Javonte and Melvin Gordon is just it's inaccurate. It's just not accurate for the talent levels of these players. They're honestly, they have Javonte's talent level about right, but they're way underestimating how good Melvin Gordon is. He's not terrible. He really isn't.
I mean, I thought the split would go a little different this week. I'm not saying that Melvin Gordon was going to be phased out by any means, but 24 to 15, 39 total carries. I don't think we're going to see that again because Detroit was just so bad against the run. We knew that coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the split is concerning, but Javonte still had 15 carries and also scored 2 touchdowns. More efficient again on the ground. So, and his rushing touchdown was excellent. He added yards on that play that other running backs may not have gotten. Not every running back in the league scores that touchdown. It wasn't a wide open hole. He had to fight for that touchdown. I like that. I like seeing a player who fights, who really wants to be good, who really wants to win. Unlike certain players. Certain players, I don't think they fall into that category. Certain players that maybe named Chase Claypool. I wonder why I brought that up.
I had a feeling we were going to go there.
What a segue, right?
The memes have been immaculate. I do have to say that.
I mean, what is there to say, really, about Chase Claypool? What is there to say?
I don't know. I mean, I was really rubbed the wrong. I don't know if it was Friday morning or post game Thursday or whatever the interview was. I don't remember the exact time, but him blaming
his interview. I saw that interview.
Him blaming his teammate for not getting the ball.
Somehow it was the teammate's fault.
Come on, dude.
It's like, do you want to alienate everybody? Is that your goal? You're not as good as Antonio Brown. You can't get away with that.
And he's not the best wide receiver on the team either. So
no, well, that's not even close. Deontay Johnson is way better. I think I want this problem on someone else's team. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. I mean, him and Mike Tomlin got into an argument on the sideline after don't forget about the first penalty. There's a whole other thing. There was the first penalty. There was a penalty in the first quarter. And then he was benched, right? I mean, wasn't he benched for like a quarter?
Yeah, then James Washington came in and made at least one spectacular play.
Yes, there was one spectacular play, but there were other problems. Like the fact that he literally can't separate and can't win many contested catches at all. He's not good.
I'm just saying what I saw.
Yeah. No, I know. But there's a reason they put Claypool back in.
Yeah.
If Washington was getting it done, they don't put him back in. They could leave him on the bench. Because, Mike Tomlin is kind of a hard ass. And I don't have an issue with that. I mean, he has a track record as a head coach to be a hard ass, right? I mean, he's never had a losing season. Never. So
might be this year. Who knows?
Might be this year, but I'm just saying, like, even in the 2019 year with Mason Rudolph, he still had a winning season. So he has a track record to be a hard ass. I mean, you can't really say too much about his coaching record. So if he wants to be that way, give him a little bit of room to run on that. But he can be a hard ass on Chase Claypool because Chase Claypool, not good. Not good. I don't want that kind of behavior on my team. I don't want that. And there's a difference, and people are going to hear this the wrong way. So let me clarify that. There's a difference between fun. Like, there are people who get on DK Metcalf for his hair. It's like they don't like him because of that or because of the way he does this or that. I'm like, I don't care about any of that. I don't care about that. These are people. These are people. They're going to do – someone might like their hair this way. Another person might wear this type of clothing. I don't care. I don't care what type of clothing someone wears. I don't care how the hair is. That's their problem. What I do care about is when we're in the fourth quarter, the game is on the line, it's an 8-point game, and you're celebrating your first down and not focusing on making the team win. See, that's what you get paid to do. You get paid to make the team win, and instead you're focusing on making that moment about you, which is a problem. And I think that Mike Tomlin is going to have a problem with that. And if Mike Tomlin has a problem with that, that could lead to reduced fantasy production for Chase Claypool in the future, which is bad for our dynasty teams. We don't want that. So I would like to move on from Chase Claypool in dynasty. I would. I don't know how you're going to do that, though.
I don't know. I mean,
plus
the uncertainty at quarterback in Pittsburgh, it makes it a big question mark other than this. So there's
uncertainty. It cannot be worse. It can't be worse.
True.
It can't be worse for him because Ben's arm is shot and Claypool needs someone who can go downfield. So it literally cannot be worse. I think Claypool would do better with Dwayne Haskins or anyone else. I think he would do better with someone incompetent who can at least throw the ball harder. I think Big Ben is the worst possible quarterback for him.
That's fair.
Well, other than someone in the same mold, who has same LeBron.
Exactly. We don't know what Pittsburgh's going to get.
No, we don't know what they're going to get, but I don't know. I think someone will be quarterbacking for them in the number 12 jersey.
Did wink. Did wink at Tomlin, so
I know. All right.
Speculation is there, but yeah.
A couple of things. Let's take some players into this. So, Chase Claypool or Devonta Smith?
Devonta Smith. I don't know what Philly's gonna do. I keep flip flopping on this every week. Every week we're on here. I know it's a bye week, so my opinion hasn't changed.
Yeah, it shouldn't change.
it shouldn't have changed. But the weeks before, I was flip flopping back and forth what they're gonna do. I still take Devontae Smith. I think he's a better player than
Chase
what he's
Claypool.
been showing on the field, and he still had a good season. So
yeah, I think Devontae Smith is a better player than Chase Claypool. So with Chase Claypool's recent behavior, we're going to go with Devontae Smith, who has superior draft capital at least.
I know he could fix everything with Claypool, but it's so hard to trust him if
No, I don't think you're going to fix it. I don't think you're going to fix it because I think that's the person he is. I don't think this is going to be something that's you're going to get an attitude adjustment. I think that's the person he is. And, some people are going to say, oh, everyone hates on Juju. Everyone hates on Juju, blah, blah, blah. They don't like his TikTok or whatever.
Off the field, though.
No, I hate on Juju's play on the field. I've actually said multiple times that Juju should just retire. Retire and go do his TikTok thing and make more money than he's going to make continuing his career in the NFL, continuing to get hurt. That's what I've said about Juju because his talent on the field, he's actually more talented with his work off the field. He's just better at that than he is on the field. He would. He has a career ahead of him. Someone who has a master's degree in sports management. I couldn't think of someone who has a better personality for today's world. Instagram, that TikTok, that kind of thing. Juju.
He's good at that stuff. He's
right, but that's not why I dislike him. Juju, I don't feel like ever put himself before the team. Really, I mean, he wanted to play through this injury this year, and obviously you can't do that, but he wanted to do that, and he took the deal to go back to Pittsburgh because that's where he was most comfortable over Kansas City, which offered to pay him more. So there were things, but I don't have any issue with Juju's play on the field and how it relates to the team. Whereas with Claypool, it just seems like it's all about him. He doesn't care if the Steelers win. And it's eventually the coach is going to have an issue. So yeah, I would move on to Devonta Smith. Couple more. What about Brandon Nayuk?
How about that touchdown today?
I know. He was in, right?
He was in. 200%. He had the gold shoes. It made it easy.
Yeah.
He made it easy to tell. I think I'm in on Brandon. I think he's coming back. I don't, like I said, we've agreed that he's not going to reach the levels that he was, but I just can't trust a player like Chase Claypool. I don't know.
I mean, if Deebo Samuel's going to be a running back, then Brandon Nayuk is suddenly good again. I like Brandon Nayuk.
I forget who tweeted it. Did you see the tweet? They're like, Deebo's so good at running back, they're gonna ask him to take a pay cut.
Oh my god. I do think he gets more involved as a receiver eventually, but
I have to bring up with Claypool. Did you see it was the end of the game when Deontay went out of bounds, right before the end, if I remember correctly. See his block?
No.
It was non-existent, and if he would have blocked, people were talking about how Najee would have picked up a block too, and there was a chance Deontay could have got in to the end zone. So
why is this surprising? Is this a surprising development?
I'm just saying there's more than one thing to bring up.
There's so many things. I mean, there's so many things. What about the trouble he got into over the offseason? Wasn't there something with a video? Was it a car?
I don't remember.
There was some incident in the offseason too that, people just dismissed it, but because there's no real corroboration, but there was something. So it was now another thing. So it's it just seems I don't want to deal with that. So I'll move on to other players other than him. All right, here we have some questions in the chat. Without AB, Godwin has been a machine. Absolutely, Dustin. Absolutely. I mean, what was this week? This week, what did he do? This week was good, if I remember. Yeah, 10 for 105, 15 targets. Excellent. Really, right? I mean, he didn't score. But...
Yeah, I mean, Mike Evans is a touchdown machine. Always has been.
Yeah.
And you got Gronk there, too. It's going to be hard for Godwin to get a touchdown, so if he gets this volume, you're fine.
He's gotten touchdowns before. No, he's great. I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think the Tampa Bay will probably just sign him to a long-term extension and just deal with it somehow. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to afford that. But
the cap's not real, so.
Yeah, it's not real.
It's not real. It's
we'll
just
see.
there.
But Godwin ranks where for you in Dynasty?
I'd probably put him in the low wide receiver one, a range.
Yeah, I'll probably rank him at 7.
Yeah.
7.
Probably
And honestly, if you want to take Godwin over Tyreek Hill at this point, I don't need it.
Not mine.
Tyreek has not been as good.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but we say that and he'll come out and drop 50 points on Thursday night.
Yeah, I don't think that's a Tyreek problem. I think that's a Mahomes problem. Well, that was a whole other thing. The Chiefs eviscerated the Raiders, but didn't come through the passing game, really.
It was. I saw
Josh
that.
Gordon.
Josh Gordon. How about that?
Yeah, I know. But anyway, let's get to this one from another Dustin question. So, do you think Amon-Ra is here to stay? I personally do. I think he's a big riser. So I remember he had a good game last week and he put himself on the map. And then this week was 12 targets, 8 for 73. I would have some caution though. TJ Hawkinson missed this game. DeAndre Swift didn't play.
Yep.
No Jamal Williams. I mean, who else were they going to throw to? Who finished second in targets for the Lions?
Oh gosh.
Don't look.
I'm not gonna look. It wasn't Craig Reynolds.
No.
Was it Brock Wright?
No, Brock Wright tied behind this player with 5.
Khalif Raymond?
No, he also had 5.
I know he scored. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You'll
never get it because I've never heard of this player.
I watched part of the game because I was watching for the Broncos.
You'll never get it. I literally have no idea who this person is.
I don't know.
Shane Zylstra. I've never heard of him. No idea. Speaking of people I've never heard of, who is Craig Reynolds, and why did he get 11 carries for 83 while Jamar Jefferson didn't touch the ball?
I don't know, but
what did I miss?
If you missed something, then I missed it too. I mean, Craig Reynolds didn't look bad either. He looked pretty good.
Well, let me tell you one thing I'm really happy about. A lot of people asked me, Rashad Penny or Jamar Jefferson. And I will say,
one of those guys had a really good day.
That I said Rashad Penny every single time. So, thank me for that.
What a start that was.
I had him pretty high, all things considered. I think I had him at RB30 when I locked my rankings. It's pretty good, all things considered. I did not rank Craig Reynolds, so that's a miss for me.
I don't think anyone ranked Craig Reynolds. I saw more tweets asking who Craig Reynolds is than where they had him ranked.
I'd heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
No, it didn't look bad. So,
anything more to say about Amon-Ra?
No, it's
like
proceed with caution. You're right. They're going to add people in the offseason. TJ Hawkins coming back. Swift might not, from what I'm hearing. But
I mean, look, think about, sometimes you get when you have these day 3 guys who have a good season. I mean, in 2019 there was Darius Slayton. How did that go? Did he hold his out? No. Then in 2020, you had Darnell Mooney, Gabriel Davis. Mooney's going pretty well. Davis not so much, but it's been a little better lately. They don't usually go super well. So, if his value continues to climb, I'm going to be a little skeptical. But he has some room to grow. But I'm just looking at my ranks, and given where I have him ranked, it's hard for him to be ranked much higher. Yeah. Unless he shows a lot more consistency. 2 games is just not going to... he needs to come out next year and start off with this for me to start buying it. I just don't think... Unless he's dominant, which he hasn't been. Maybe 2 good games, but that's not good.
I mean, we gave our comps on Amon-Ra last week because we got questions because, of course, he scored the
Yeah.
game winner.
I also think that Amon-Ra's big rise was last week. This week doesn't do as much for me because all the weapons are gone. I'm not as impressed. So, yeah.
I agree with you.
On this, yeah, I can co-sign that. That this is the best he's looked since he held out. I think this is probably the best he looked since 2018. If I remember correctly, 2018 was his best year. And he was excellent that year. Pretty sure it was 2018. But yeah, this is the best he's looked in the last 3 years. Agreed. Can you blame him, though?
No. I'm going to be sad, too.
Yeah, I think it's happening.
I think it is.
And, that's going to be 2 straight years he finished on injured reserve. That's what happens when you're on a really bad team. You run the risk of this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good team doesn't shut him down.
No, it's something you have to live with.
A little.
Like,
how much is it going to hurt his value, though?
Probably you have to. Probably not that much because there's concerns. There's concerns with every running back in Dynasty right now, unless your name's Jonathan Taylor, really.
Well, that's true, but also like, who else is there? I mean, young running backs are hard to find. There really are no other options.
Mm-hmm. Najee, Javonte, that's
it.
That's it. And then I don't know if I put this year's class close, like in terms of prospects. So
yeah, I mean, there's always Antonio Gibson and his
but
2 catches for 5 yards and 10 carries for 36.
Today wasn't his day.
Not good. Not good. Not good enough. I do think Swift ends up on IR though, so plan accordingly. And Jamal Williams was a late rule out due to COVID. It's possible he misses next week too. So, if I told you that Craig Reynolds going into the fantasy playoffs would be worth all the rest of your fab, that's where we are.
It's been a season.
Yeah, but that's where we are.
Yeah.
Also in Dynasty, you can cut Jamar Jefferson. He didn't get opportunity in this game with Swift and Jamal Williams out. Cut him. Cut him. He has no value. You can just cut him. Get him off your team. Oh, I guess. Any stock in Marvin Jones Jr. going forward, or does Trevor Lawrence hurt him too much? I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the problem. I think Urban Meyer is the problem.
I don't even know what to think anymore. I think we all know.
We know that. But did you see my tweet?
No, I didn't.
The one where I was like, they need to fire Urban Meyer immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Allowing him to do 4 more weeks of damage to this team is unacceptable.
See, I was going to make a tweet about this. I know we talk about players overcoming bad situations, but how in the world do you overcome this, like, as a player? Like, you know what I mean?
You're a professional. You get over it.
I know, but it's like, you see that handshake, the post-game handshake?
Yes.
That was bad.
I was not impressed. Not good. Not good. Urban Meyer, not good. There's no way they can move forward with him, right, for next year. I mean, this is just no way, right?
Did you see the report that the owner endorses him, or Urban Meyer thinks he has the owner's endorsement?
Yeah.
I don't know which one it was. It was one of them.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either because, like, how do you look at that on-the-field product and say, hey.
How do you move forward? Well, he also said that all his assistant coaches were losers.
Yeah, he did.
That he was a winner.
Can you believe this team beat the Bills?
No, but that shows you any given Sunday, right?
Oh, I think that's like if you look in the dictionary for any given Sunday, that should be the example.
Yeah, so let's review the Jaguars' performance today. So, we're going to review it. So
I'm saying it in a good light. That's what I mean.
Yeah, well, it needs to be criticized. So, Trevor Lawrence, 4 interceptions. Not good enough. I don't want to hear about excuses. Excuses, they don't score me any fantasy points. They've never scored any fantasy points unless you play in an excuses league. And I've never found one of those yet. So, not good. You cannot start Trevor Lawrence anymore. Not that you ever could. But I mean, at this point, like, you're looking at him as like a Davis Mills type play. You can't play him.
How about Davis Mills? He had a good day.
Yes, you were better off. Well, I mean, Trevor Lawrence gave you negative.
Yeah. Davis Mills is looking really good the first 2 drives.
No, it's terrible. I mean, the whole thing is terrible. It's terrible. He didn't add anything in the rushing game either. Speaking of the rushing game.
Oh, boy.
8 total carries against 40 passes. James Robinson managed 6 carries for 4 yards. Not good. Not good. 0.4 fantasy points, just torpedoing anyone who's darted him. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Was it the running back coach's fault this time? That was the running back coach's fault to why they didn't run the ball more. Not Urban. Not Urban. It could never be his fault. Of course, it was the running back coach who called the offense. Despite the fact that Tennessee only scored 20 points. It's not like it was a 40-point blowout. There was plenty of time to run the ball more. Because passing the ball went so well. So well. It really succeeded in getting the ball to their most dynamic weapon, Laquan Treadwell.
He did have a nice catch. I'll give him that.
He did. Yeah, no, he did. What about Laviska Shenault?
The dream's been long done for.
Yeah. At this point, would you rather have Laviska Shenault or Dwayne Eskridge?
I mean, it's so tough because was it this week or this past week that Eskridge scored?
I think it was this past week. Did the Seahawks have a passing? Oh, no, they did have passing touchdowns this week. But no, they didn't. He didn't score.
Last week. It was last week he scored.
Eskridge put up a goose egg.
Yeah, I mean, but still, like.
I was just testing you. That one was too brutal.
I mean, I was thinking about it, which tells you where we are.
I know.
I was legitimately thinking about it.
Would you go to Gabriel Davis, maybe, over Laviska Shenault?
I mean,
Gabriel Davis has kind of been picking up his play lately. This week was, again, better. Another touchdown, 8 targets, a little bit better.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
I think so.
Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders are up there in age. And
washed, yeah, both of them.
So,
Emmanuel Sanders, I think, is actually washed.
And they have nothing besides Diggs, so.
Yeah, I think Emmanuel Sanders has nothing left. And Beasley, he's old too. Yeah. But yeah, Laviska Shenault, I think the dream is over. The dream is over.
I have to think that those offseason trades with Laviska Shenault tanked at least some dynasty rosters.
Yeah, no, they're really bad. Marvin Jones. Is there any stock in Marvin Jones going forward? I mean, I'm going to continue to rank him around wide receiver 40 like I've done every week.
It's hard to start anyone off this offense, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I'm probably still going to rank Marvin Jones the highest of the receivers. I mean, he had the best game this week, I guess. But, I mean, Marvin Jones, that was a whole other story we didn't even talk about. There was a whole story how Marvin Jones left the facility and they had to beg him to come back.
Yeah.
Somehow that got lost in all of the other things that happened. And there's also multiple other reports about this coaching staff. We didn't even talk about those. There's just so many things, but it was just like, how is it possible that one team is in the news this much?
I mean, yeah, the Lions were losing every game. They weren't in the news nearly this much.
Not like this. Not like this. No, this is just a disaster. This is a disaster. So
I think this is long past the disaster.
Yeah, it's way past that. But anyway, I guess the answer is they're stocking Marvin Jones is if you have to.
Yeah.
Biggest dynasty risers. All right. Were there any big dynasty risers for you this week?
I mean, can we start putting up Hunter Renfrow a little bit? Like,
I think I already did that though. Like
Yeah.
I think I already rose Hunter Ren, put him up, but I put him up there. I have Hunter Renfrow in the top 100 in one QB.
I mean, without Waller, he's been super consistent.
Right, but like before this week, I had Hunter Renfrow ahead of Van Jefferson, ahead of Tyler Lockett, and ahead of Brandon Cooks. So clearly, I was already very high on Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
So how much higher? I mean, at the end of the day, I do not think 13 receptions for 117 and 1 is sustainable for Hunter Renfrow.
No.
So there's only so high he's going to go in the rankings.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think he's going to be a riser too much because he was already at the top of the rankings. But Mark Andrews, what a day!
Yeah, where's he going to go?
You can't go any higher than what he was.
Well, Mark Andrews is clearly the Dynasty tight end 2. Still have Pitts as my 1. He had a better game this week than last week.
Yeah, that wasn't much better, but
it was still better though.
It was still better.
But I have, and to me, it's like there's a correct ranking now. Pitts is the 1, Andrews is the clear 2, and Kittle is the 3. Pretty clear. That's that.
Kittle with Debo in the rushing game as well.
Yeah, no, but to me, it's like abundantly clear. And then it's kind of like Kelsey, Hawkinson, and Waller are now in the where on the age curve do you want to go? Mm-hmm. Kelsey's the most reliable production and the oldest. I would still say Hawkins, and then Waller's the next most reliable, but he is in the middle in age. And then Hawkinson is the least reliable, but has the most value upside. So I would say those 3 are kind of a decision, but Pitts is 1, still with a bullet for me. Andrews is the clear 2, and Kittle is the clear 3, well ahead of the other 3. I have them too close in my rankings. Like, actually, honestly, going into this week, I had Kittle 9 overall spots ahead of Kelsey, and Andrews 1 overall spot ahead of him. So maybe I don't really feel that way. Maybe I had Andrews and Kittle closer than I thought. But yeah, Kelsey and Hawk way down. So I think that gap is only an increase. Because Hawk certainly did not help his value by not playing. And Kelsey, we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Not good. 3 for 27 again. I wrote about him this week, so you'll see it in the Monday Hangover article. Not good. When you have an older player, if you start to lose the production, the value goes in an instant. It goes in an instant. You go from being worth a lot to being worth nothing very fast. So I don't think it's going to happen. I think the value drop is going to happen now. And then he's going to maintain the rest of his value as 1 more year of a mid-tight end 1 for the rest of his career, whatever that's worth. He's going to maintain that kind of value like forever. But I think the value drop is now. I think it's happening now. But what do?
You can't move him. Like,
there's nothing you can do about it. If you're a contender, you need him. You can't win without him. And you're not going to be able to do any trade with him that helps you. And if you're a rebuilder and you still have Kelsey on this team, then you're either in a really inactive league and you should leave, or you're a really incompetent dynasty manager and you need my Patreon to help you. Because Kelsey should not have still been on your team if you were a rebuilder at this point. He should have been long gone. I was saying to move him to last offseason, 2 offseasons ago. But yeah, any other risers, fallers, just to combine those 2 together?
I mean, fallers, I don't think Antonio Gibson can go much farther than what we had him. He didn't.
No, I don't think Antonio Gibson is a big faller for me. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but not a big one. Terrace Marshall.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Active and targets none, 0. Big fat 0. 12 for Robbie Anderson, 5 for Brandon Zylstra. Not good. Get rid of him. I'd rather have Laviska Shenault over Terrace Marshall. least Laviska Shenault can get on the field. You just get rid of Terrace Marshall. You can get rid of him. People are going to say, oh, he's going to bounce back. No.
It's hard.
Take a third-round pick at this point for Terrace Marshall.
I said that. I said in our group that you might be able to get a third because I don't know.
I think you still can. There's still going to be people who are like, oh, he was a good prospect, blah, blah, blah. You can probably still get a third for Trey Sermon in some leagues. Like, people just don't – they want the doubt of the known for some reason over the doubt of the unknown when it's the exact opposite that you should want. You don't want the player who has known failure on their track record. You want the thing you know nothing about, which is the draft pick, but people cannot wrap their minds around that concept. It's such a simple concept. If people understood it, they would win a lot more in Dynasty, but they don't. They don't. You don't want failure. But people think that a good way to win in Dynasty is by targeting failure and hoping it bounces back. That is not a winning strategy. It's not. You want to go for unknown or proven success. What you don't want is failure. You don't want failure on your team. If you just follow that as like a general rule, target proven producers or draft picks and avoid failures and bounce backs, is it perfect? No. If you use that as a general guideline, will you do better than you would have otherwise? 100%. You know, those are the people who buying back in on failures. Those are the people who told you to buy in on OBJ and Juju for the last 4 years. And that's what they would tell you. So, you know, we don't want to listen to those people. First of all, I appreciate you both. Well, I appreciate you, Caleb. We've had a lot of, on a more personal.
I know.
Oh, okay. We've talked about that already.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it is always the same people in the chat. Spock too, and Brian was down there, and Gus as well. So actually, a lot of people I know. But thanks for the appreciation, Caleb. The second, Dynasty thoughts of the 49ers offensive playmakers. So we started talking about that. With Kittle, I feel like we discussed it, right? I mean, how do you feel about what I said about the Dynasty rank? I mean, you still feeling good about Pitts at 1? Dynasty?
Yeah, I'm still feeling good about Pitts at 1. I feel like, honestly, at this point, for at least me, I know Andrews had a good week. I feel like they're flip-floppable at 2 and 3. Yeah,
it's just hard because Andrews has put together the whole year. He's been better on the balance of the year, and he's younger. So it just I feel like if you had Kittle ahead, that's like really recency bias. Like, I do feel like I actually have Andrews too low and Kittle too high. So I might do an odd rankings adjustment where Kittle ends up moving down despite his really big week.
Despite 13 receptions.
Just because I don't like my ranking.
That's fair.
But yeah. What do you think about Debo then? Debo and Nayuk. You worried about Debo at all or not really?
I mean, I'm not really. They're finding creative ways to get him the ball. I know they're weak at running back without Elijah Mitchell and with him missing time, but they're getting the ball in creative ways, and I like that. I mean, I'm not as high as I was when he was, scoring 30 points every week, it seemed.
Debo or Deontay Johnson?
Deontay Johnson.
Devontae Adams or Debo? Nice.
Tough, right? It's tough. Because I don't know if Rodgers is staying. It seems like it at this point.
Say you're out of the playoffs. Season's over.
You're out of the playoffs.
You're out of the playoffs. The season's over. You're just picking 2022 and beyond.
I'd probably pick Debo. There's so much uncertainty about Adams.
Just for the age. Debo, Waddle?
Probably Waddle.
Give me Waddle. Yeah, so we agree. And then, no, there's no one else really worth asking about. And then Ayuk, we kind of talked about a little bit earlier. How much? I'm curious. How much of the bounce back are you in on? So, Ayuk or Michael Pittman?
Michael Pittman's been on elite usage. I don't know where he's going to fall in the pecking order of the offense.
Michael Pittman does not have elite usage, for the record.
That ended. It's been all JT.
Target share is not elite.
It's been all JT.
Good, but it's not elite.
I mean, give me Ayuk because I feel like past Michael Pittman, not counting JT, I'm counting the receivers only. There's no one else there. Like it's Zach Pascal, it's Ashton Dolan. Like they're gonna bring someone else in, right? T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, but just so they bring someone else in doesn't mean they're bringing in someone ahead of him. All that matters is if they did. If they bring in someone behind him, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I'm in an Ayuk. I don't know how high.
Still,
I think I'm lower on Pittman than what your range is. I think that's.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah.
T. Higgins or Ayuk?
No, man, he's been T. Higgins. We know like his career outlook. It seems at this point.
I think that Ayuk's outscored him, and had more targets, but Higgins had more yards.
I trust T. Higgins more. We also don't know when Trey Lance is going to play. We know T. Higgins is attached to Joe Burrow for many years. So
and T. Higgins' offense can't get more crowded. It can only get less. His situation can't be worse, really. So,
I mean, he's always going to be capped by Chase, but there's always going to be other people in San Fran too.
Sure. Ayuk or Jerry Jeudy?
I really want to say Jerry Jeudy because I really think this is the offseason they make a quarterback upgrade.
Oh, they better.
It's crushing everyone's value there except for, of course, the two running backs. But
yeah, what did I say about Cortland Sutton? And I said I could bother to pull up the DLF Trade Finder to discuss possible dynasty trades for Cortland Sutton, but it would be a waste of time. At this point, Cortland Sutton is just a more expensive version of Tim Patrick. Jerry Jeudy has no startable value at this time. These are quotes. So I don't know about Jerry Jeudy. I don't know if I can support that.
I don't know.
I hate it, but I think I've turned on Jerry Jeudy.
Wow, I'm surprised.
I'm tired of it. Well, he's joining the excuse club. The targets are there, but the target share is there, but the problem with target share is if the pie is small, then it doesn't do me any good. Like, I get it with the target share. I get that I should be more concerned about Cortland Sutton than Jerry Jeudy. I understand. I understand that Cortland Sutton is a 5-alarm fire, whereas Jerry Jeudy is like you've set off the smoke alarm in your kitchen because you burnt toast. Like, I get that those are the levels of concern. This is Cortland Sutton, the building is burning down.
I know it's been a long season, but I still can't believe that at some point, like in the midseason mark, which feels like ages ago, that Cortland Sutton was leading the league in air yards. I cannot believe
there was a time for that. And this week, that time has been canceled because he had 2 targets. Caught one of them. Not good. Not good enough. Not good enough. And the big problem is that Albert O came and took a big shit all over this whole offense with, not that I dislike Albert, I actually really like Albert O. But the problem is you can't start Albert O. You cannot start Albert O. So if you can't start him, he comes in, he has 5 for 41 and a touchdown, which is just taking a big shit all over everyone else because there's not a big enough pie to afford to lose a touchdown and 5 receptions and 41 yards to a tight end you can't start. So, and then you have Tim Patrick coming in, who you can't start either, taking up, producing nothing, but the same nothing that Cortland Sutton is. So that's a whole other story. So I'll take Brandon Ayuk over Jerry Jeudy. I'm sick of Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is a very talented player. This is not his problem. But, I got to...
It's not his problem, but it's his problem.
Well, it's his problem. It's not his fault, but it's his problem. That's what I meant to say.
I get what you're saying.
I'll take Brandon Ayuk. So I will.
It's been what, like 7 years, something like that, since Peyton Manning. It feels like.
Yeah.
Close to that.
Oh, and lastly, Elijah Mitchell's the man when he comes back.
He's been a hot topic on Twitter.
Jeff Wilson was bad. Jeff Wilson was fine, but Elijah Mitchell is the man. Is Brandon Cooks playable rest of the season? Was he not this week? I mean, I ranked him at wide receiver like 25. That's going to end up being a little low. I mean, not that low. I mean, he didn't score. But
still, you're happy with what you got.
Happy with what you got. I mean, I ranked him wide receiver 25, so I thought he was playable this week. I wasn't running away from him. I'd rather start other guys. But
yeah,
the answer to this question is yes. I mean, he'll be somewhere between wide receiver 20 and 30 on a given week.
You don't feel bad about starting.
Most leagues, that's a startable player. So the answer to this question is yes.
I've seen the lineups this week. There's a lot worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. There were people who wanted me to start Laquan Treadwell or Austin Walter, who got sick in the pregame warmups and then didn't play. Wouldn't it have been nice to have heard about that? Not at 2 o'clock after the games had already been going for an hour. They knew, but they just didn't tell us.
We heard way too late.
But hey, there was a LaMichael Pirine sighting. Don't add him. 58W King, thanks for Start Sit and the work you guys do on this recaps. Keep it up. I appreciate that. I also have noticed there have been more thank yous in this podcast. You do feel like this is squeaky wheel getting the grease. I did complain about this today. I just want to say that the audience is great. Like you guys are all great. I don't want anyone to feel bad. When I do start sit, the reception is a little bit more negative than when I do Dynasty. When I do Dynasty, the negative reception I get is mostly about me as a person. People don't really like that I'm a little out there. I'm a little different from other people, a little aggressive. And, some people think that I'm just, different from the voices that they're used to hearing at DLF, and they don't like that. And, I would tell them that that's fine. I like being different. But on Start Sit, I always get the same thing, which is that it's my fault that it didn't go well. And the other thing I get is that I'm constantly reminded whenever I made the wrong call, people at me later and are like, well, you messed this up, or I'm glad I don't. The worst thing, the thing I hate, my pet peeve, if you're watching the show, do not do this because it will not get you in my good graces. The thing I hate is when someone feels the need to go back to my Start Sit advice, be like, thanks for the advice or not, or whatever they say. I'm glad I didn't listen to you and went against what you said because that's what worked out. Do not do that. If you're watching this, do not do that. What is the point of that? What does that accomplish? You're telling me that you didn't listen to the advice that I gave you, bragging that it was better you did it your way. Woo, I guess you're smarter than me. Congratulations. You're not. That's the reason I have this show and you don't. That was mean, but it is honestly a little bit how I feel. But then why ask me? Why ask me then? If you're smart, if either you're actually smarter than me, then why are you asking? Or if you're not, then just appreciate the advice that I gave you. I work hard on this. I spent hours a week doing this fucking spreadsheet, and it's hard. This is the first year I've ever done Start Sit rankings. Wasn't easy. It's seriously, you don't have to come back on every call I got wrong. If I get 60 to 65% of them right, I'm the best analyst of all time. More likely is I'm going to get somewhere around 55 to 58%. 59 to 60 is really good. Mm-hmm. So just saying, there's just no need to do that.
I don't understand it. I mean, we
all know I perfectly understand it. I don't have any issue understanding it.
It's the whole.
I disagree with it, but you understand it, right? I mean, I understand why.
Yeah. I worded my phrasing wrong. it's the dunking thing. Like people just want to dunk on each other. It's social media nowadays. Like, point me to an analyst that is 100% perfect. You can't. It's impossible.
They like to think that they, but it's just like
on your misses, you'll feel
I don't mind if you do like the right way to say that is thanks for your advice. I went another way. I appreciate you weighing in, taking the time. I
appreciate you giving me the time, yes, because you're taking time out of your day to answer their question. Like
now,
they don't have to fall in line with what you say, but like
no, they don't. And I'd still rather that you didn't come back at all. But if you have to, some sort of thanks for the advice helps. Just coming back and laughing at me, you're getting blocked in the future if you do that. If you're listening and you come back just like with a laughing emoji, I didn't listen to you, haha, I made the right choice, you're stupid, it'll be the last question of mine you ever see. So I don't care. There's 16,000 something people who follow me. I don't need you. I appreciate the advice or got lost, I guess. I don't have time for that. I have started to not get to all the questions every week because I have hundreds of them. Twitter's turned my account off the last 2 weeks because I answered too many and they thought I was a robot. I can't deal with that anymore. So, if you're watching, just don't do that.
Yes.
We talked about this. Do you think the Lions will put Swift on IR? Yeah.
What do they have to play for?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Ooh. I kind of like this concept.
Opponent block. I'm a fan. I mean, I don't know which one I'd pick, but
who is more likely to start?
I mean, how bad was Heineke's injury? Because I didn't watch much.
Really bad. I wrote about him in another section.
Well, I mean, then it would definitely be Kyle Allen
and Heineke also got hurt. Yeah. Whereas Kev is healthy. I just don't think they're ever gonna play a healthy, bench a healthy Cam for PJ Walker. So Kyle Allen, I guess. But only if you have to. I'm not super excited about that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, this is one of those scenarios where you don't have to, especially if it was wasting a roster spot. Like, don't waste a roster spot in this if you're dropping someone decent.
All right, you're getting a monologue. Give me a second.
Oh, I'm getting a monologue now. All right. So, next question is: will Elijah Moore value drop on IR? I can't pull it up. I apologize. I don't have those moderation powers, but I don't think it does. I mean, last week is that all Elijah Moore had to prove to me was Zach Wilson. He was Zach Wilson proof, which he proved. Like before this, he was going off with Mike White, Josh Johnson, Joe Flacco was even in there too, and Elijah Moore's a star.
I'm back.
I was monologuing the next question.
Yeah. No, I heard. My throat literally is just not gonna make it through more show.
You got this.
That's help. No, I know.
Answer's a no. Elijah Moore's a star.
I agree. I don't think maybe a little, but not a significant amount. No.
It's gonna hurt a little bit not having him for the playoff run. He's gonna post some stats.
I mean, I thought he was on his way to working his way in with Deebo Samuel, Jalen Waddle, McLaurin, Diggs group. And now I think he's more at the bottom of my little Pittman, Higgins, and him trio. He's at the bottom of that group.
That's not shabby. I mean, if he started this at the start of the season, it'd be different. It took him a while to get going, but
the answer to this question is barely, if any.
I mean, of course, missing time.
Missing time is never a good thing. It's always bad.
I don't think it. I'm not dinging him really hard.
Me neither.
Ooh,
I think we talked about Trevor Lawrence enough, right? I don't think we need to talk about him.
It's up there.
Okay, which one? Who do you want to go to next?
I mean, of course. I mean, do we talk about Justin Fields? I mean, he looked okay. Like, it was just okay. He did make a big mistake throwing right to Roswell Douglas. But, I mean.
What about Allen Robinson? How did Allen Robinson do today?
I don't even know. I just know it wasn't good.
Wasn't good. Apparently today was the Jakeem Grant and Damiere Byrd experience.
It was a wild time. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Matt Nagy values speed.
You're getting it. Okay. I have a yes or no question for you. Yes or no. And we're gonna make the people suffer. You get to answer with a yes or no.
All right, that's it.
Nothing else.
Okay.
And then we move on from this topic. And then the people are left wondering. Is Allen Robinson washed?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to Justin Fields. Yeah, I mean, he was fine. I do like the 9 carries for 74, though. I like that. For fantasy, I like that. That gives him a floor. That gives him something to hold on to. Don't like that for David Montgomery, who saved his game in the passing game, but on the ground, 10 carries is not great.
No.
I mean, I think my panic meter for Trevor Lawrence was at an 11, except it's not actually, because I would buy Trevor Lawrence all day in dynasty leagues.
Exactly. I mean, people have to be panicking. Like like you said, an 11, like the situation. Like people are worried, but I just think.
Let's talk about that. So, let's say you have Trevor Lawrence. I'm offering you Mac Jones and a 2023 first-round pick. Would take it.
See, I probably would. That's just how much I value the class, and I know it's
But
probably.
I would take it too. I would take Jones in the first. I don't think that Lawrence is worth Jones and a first anymore.
I mean, Mac Jones is gonna be a stable QB2 for I don't know how many years at this point. Like we bring up the 2023 class enough. It's loaded.
Yeah.
People know.
2023.
Yeah, 2023 is loaded. Yeah.
So what about Trevor Lawrence or Trey Lance in Dynasty, straight up?
I'm kind of panicking on Trevor Lawrence. I think I'd take Trey Lance.
What's worse, not being able to beat out Jimmy Garoppolo or playing horribly in the games you play? They're both really bad.
They're both really bad, but I feel like one's easier to overcome than.
Has Trevor Lawrence been worse than not playing at all?
I think so. I mean, he's flashed, but and I know the whole Kyle Shanahan thing where he took Trey Lance out.
It was in the different way, a different way that I think will make it easier. Would Trevor Lawrence's value be higher if he had torn his ACL in July? Or is it higher now? So was he better off missing the whole season to a season-ending injury? So then it was worse than not playing at all?
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
It's that bad, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, he's shown a little bit, but the bad so outweighs the good in this situation.
Whereas with Justin Fields, I feel like he's been also the expectations on Justin Fields were not as high. He didn't have to be as good to exceed expectations.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence was the greatest prospect since Andrew Luck, so
yeah. It's tough. Superflex, Trevor Lawrence or DeAndre Swift?
Man, this is tough. I'd probably I'm kind
Startup.
of
Let's say startup. So you don't already have a team. Startup. This is your second round pick, probably.
Second round pick. I'd probably take Swift in that spot.
Yeah. But that's where we are. I mean, Lawrence has fallen.
I remember when he was about to break into that top 6-7 group quarterbacks.
I know.
Never materialized. It's a bummer, honestly. So I'm stunned. I didn't think we'd ever get here with all these.
If you're a contender and you're about to go into the playoffs, and I offered you in Dynasty Tom Brady and Mike Evans for Trevor Lawrence, could you do it?
I could. That's a year after the 101 where people behind you have the Dynasty wide receiver 1, Dynasty RB3, Dynasty.
Could you do it? Could you bite the bullet?
I mean, Dynasty is not about building for the future. It's about winning championships. I think I could do it. It would be terribly tough to stomach, but I think I could do it. I think I don't know how many years out of Tom Brady. We're not going to make that guess, but I think it's at least next year.
Probably 15.
At this point, you're not wrong, but you're getting at least next year out of Brady too.
I mean, you didn't know Brady made a deal with the devil. You didn't know that?
I don't know anything.
I think you'd feel better about it if it were Brady and Godwin. But
200%.
But Brady,
I don't think you'd get that at this point.
No, I would make that deal for Brady and Godwin all day, but I don't think you get that. Yeah. So okay, well, who else do we have to talk about? Justin Fields, I would say no change really to his value.
It's okay.
Trey Lance didn't play. Mac Jones didn't play.
It's Davis Mills and Zach Wilson. I don't know which one you want to tackle next.
I mean, at some point you have to feel sorry for Zach Wilson. No Michael Carter. No Elijah Moore. No Corey Davis. Did you expect him to succeed? Did you think it would be good? Did anyone think it would be good? At some point you got to feel bad for the man.
See, I guess my perception is a little different because I turned on the game and I immediately, as soon as I turned on, I watched him throw a check down into the dirt. And the check, it was not like people were there covering the check down. He just threw it into the dirt. I'm like, oh no.
Well, it could have been better.
Definitely could have been better.
All right. Zach Wilson or Baker Mayfield?
Oh, Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
I know Baker Mayfield's been hot, but at least today. I just can't do it. I've seen too much out of Baker Mayfield. Referencing your earlier quote, the unproven success. Yeah, you got to go unproven here. I know because Baker Mayfield doesn't have proven success. He has that one good year. And I'm like,
Zach Wilson or Daniel Jones?
Zach Wilson. Job security. Only reason.
Zach Wilson or Jimmy Garoppolo?
This is tough because I do believe Jimmy Garoppolo will start somewhere next year. Probably not San Fran, but I'll take Zach Wilson.
Okay. Yeah, it's not pretty.
I mean, at that rate, you have to take the chance on potential to keep you better. Honestly.
Yeah, I have him QB 22.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to argue with that ranking. He's not been good. I mean, he hasn't been dealt the best hand at all. And of course, he'd probably be talked about more if Jacksonville just wasn't a complete mess.
That's true. If Trevor Lawrence weren't in this class and as bad as he was doing, we'd probably hear more about Zach Wilson, but we don't. Okay. And then Davis Mills, I mean, he wasn't bad.
No. He started, 13 for 13?
Yeah. The chances, okay, so in your opinion, the chances that Davis Mills is the Texans 2022 starter are what?
I'd honestly, at this point, put it at exactly 50.
50?
Yeah, I think he could start.
50, honestly, that's very high. It's a lot.
They're locked into a top 2 pick.
But
top
he's
2.
Not it though. He's
I'm not saying he's it, but I'm saying they're gonna go. They have to build a team. Their team is devoid of talent.
I guess. But
it'd be tough to throw a new quarterback in. I know they just did that with Davis Mills, but to throw a new quarterback into that situation, they might trade for a quarterback. So, like, that is true. I didn't account
Who's
for that.
ever going to play there?
I don't know.
You know who I think their 2022 starter could be?
Who could it
Mitch
be?
Trubisky. Just because why not?
I have Mitch Trubisky stashed on all my Dynasty rosters. So I feel like it's going to happen. We've had this talk before.
What about Minshew? They'll find a way to give up a second-round pick for Minshew.
Oh, my goodness. I don't doubt it.
Nick Foles is a free agent.
Could happen. I don't know. It's tough. I mean,
maybe they'll trade for Tyler Huntley. I think that would improve their team greatly.
How about that? He's gonna get money somewhere.
Oh, I know. It's like we gotta see how long Lamar is gonna be out. We didn't even talk about injuries.
No.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Terry
That was
McLaurin.
a big one. Yep.
Terry McLaurin. And people can use the injury as an excuse, but the injury happened in the third quarter. What happened to the other two? 4 targets. Just didn't catch any.
Just weren't good today.
Yeah, if you needed Terry McLaurin, if you've relied on Terry McLaurin this season, you've got nothing. Nothing. But yeah, Davis Mills is no animator. He has the opposite. He had a good game.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine. Like, I don't know. It's just that I don't know, like, into the mind of the Houston GM at this point. Like, I don't know how they're going to build the team.
Nick Caserio?
Yeah.
Well, he needs to talk to Easterby before doing anything.
That is true.
Yeah. Lance?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was in regards to Lance for Lawrence straight up.
I have an injury. Who's talking about that? I can talk about my injuries. I mean, something. Speaking of Jones fractures, I don't know what's going on in my foot, but I have to deal with that.
Yikes.
Okay. Is Herbert in the Mahomes, Allen, Kyler, Lamar tier? Lamar's not in that tier. I have it as, and tell me if you agree or disagree. I have it as Mahomes, Allen, and Kyler as the top 3. And then the next tier is Lamar and Herbert.
I'd probably have Herbert above Lamar at this point.
No, I'm going to have Herbert above Lamar.
Okay,
after.
then yeah, I agree with you. You
Yeah.
see that throw to Guyton? Oh my goodness.
I know. Herbert can ball.
That one had my jaw on the floor for a little bit. Not a lot does that to me anymore, but like, wow, that was a crazy throw.
I'm glad that Guyton got there because otherwise I told a lot of people to go away from Josh Palmer and they would have been really mad.
You know, the backups produced for wide receiver.
Mike Williams didn't have a bad game. He caught all those targets. Austin Eckler went out with it.
I heard he's going to play Thursday, though.
Oh, so that's fine. No, that's Keenan Allen.
No, I heard because he walked off the field under his own power. They said he couldn't, but he did. And they said it's looking good, but the swelling's probably going to determine something.
Yeah, expect it to be fine. So he'll be good to go.
He'll be good. Thursday
But
night.
we'll just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Oh, we covered it already. He's talking about this question.
Oh, I love talking about that.
I wrote about this in my article. This will be in the Hangover article also. What's your take? Because people get to read mine.
He's gone. I don't know where he's gonna go. I know.
So we agree.
It was a rumor that he listed his teams again or something.
He listed his team: Saints, Broncos, and Giants. I mean, they all have openings.
They do. I don't know how the Saints are going to maneuver around that cap. I know we said it's fake, but that'll be tough. But yeah, I mean, it's not over. It's not.
It's
real,
over.
But it's over.
It's over. We're in complete agreement. It's over between Russ and the Hawks. It's over. Over. Done.
I mean, there was tension before the season.
Yeah, I actually accused Russell Wilson of lying. He's saying that he wants to play the rest of his career in Seattle. And I put the links are in my Sunday six-pack article, so you can't get out of it. Can't say, "Oh, I didn't say it." No. I put my sources. So you can click on them and go read it for yourself where he said it. It's bullshit. Bullshit. Liar. He doesn't want to be in Seattle at all. Why would you? Why would you want to be in Seattle where they just run the ball constantly? Even though that was actually very successful today.
It was.
Behind Rashad Penny.
I mean, where are you going to get more talent? I mean, they shipped off 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams.
I think he's better off in Denver.
Yeah. I saw a stat today that the Seahawks are one of the best defenses in the league so far when Jamal Adams is off the field. And they're one of the worst when he's on it. So, like, not going well.
I don't know why anyone would want to go play in New Orleans, though. That I don't get. And that team is a mess.
Sean Payton, maybe. I mean,
why would you want to go play in New York for the Giants? Just to play in New York?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't think of any other reasons.
Saquon.
Honestly. I mean, how long is he going to be there?
I'm tired of hearing it. With Saquon, like, people just need to accept the new reality. He wasn't even that bad today. M. Yeckersley. You ever sleep? No. But actually, you're asking the one of the two of us who has the more normal sleep schedule. Because that's definitely me.
I don't know where my sleep schedule is.
Your sleep schedule is like the stuff of legends.
It's taxing me at this point, honestly. I think it's part of my health problem. So we're gonna fix that. But
like it's bad that I definitely have the normal sleep schedule between the two of us, and mine is not good. But no, like, honestly, I've always say, like, whenever I'm trying to, like, push harder and, like, get to everything, I always borrow from the sleep pool to, like, pay for everything else, to do everything else. And I think I've been borrowing, but when you keep borrowing, sometimes you run out of gas. And I feel like I've been borrowing from the sleep pool and the sleep pile for too long. So I need to work on that. But yes, I appreciate this. And I do want the people to hear it, though. Like, it's not, I don't want to give off the untrue impression that the time I give this community is solely out of the goodness of my heart. I love doing this. I do. And this is no secret, but maybe people don't know this, or I haven't mentioned as much openly recently, certainly not hiding it, it comes up a lot, that I want to do this for a living. Like, I want to, have a career in fantasy football. So that's part of why I'm a little pushier about followers than most, because that stuff helps me make it. I need people to support me. I need, whoever it is to see it. So I see that there's the support, and I need, money, I guess. And as the end goal of it, really, if I'm going to make it work as a career. So I don't want to give up the false impression that I'm some sort of angel, that I just spend all day doing all of this work just as like a hobby that I do just out of the goodness of my heart. I really don't want to make that the narrative, because that isn't true. I love doing this, and I want to do this for a job. I probably wouldn't continue to do this as a hobby forever. If I can't make it work as a career, I don't know what I'll do. I would still interact on Twitter because it's fun for me sometimes, but I would step it back. Like 99% of my interaction would go away. But I do appreciate that. And it's not like I hate it. I don't have to do those. Believe me, those Twitter threads are counterproductive to me making it in this community, like in a job perspective. Giving away a lot of advice for free is counterproductive. So, in some ways. So it's not so simple. So the issue is very complex, but I do appreciate what I appreciate the most is the recognition that it's hard. It's hard to put together the spreadsheet to do this kind of stuff. That it isn't easy. It doesn't take 5 minutes. That's more what I appreciate. I really appreciate just some recognition for that. And that's why I don't sleep very much, because I spend all day updating this stuff. On every Monday, I go through and update my Dynasty rankings based on the weekend of games. That process takes about 4 hours just to update one spreadsheet. So like I put in the work, and that's why I always think I'm a little bit ahead of everyone. Yeah. Sorry, Brian.
That's tough.
I don't know that he's going to Denver, but I think it's more that he's gone more than anything else.
Yeah, Pete Carroll too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Pete Carroll is.
I don't know. I don't know how fans would take it if they kept Pete Carroll and ditched Russell.
Fans will get over it because they'll root for the team anyway.
You got a point.
One of the first things I learned in sports management school, especially about the NFL. Fans will get over it. They'll keep rooting for the team anyway, no matter what you do. That's why the NFL is such a successful product, because people are so blindly loyal, both to the league and to their teams. And they know it too. They know it. I know from talking to them. They know it, and they take advantage of it. So good on them for those practices, because they've managed to stay the king in a entertainment industry for 40 years. Find someone else. Find someone else who's done that. So, and they know it though, but they know their spot in the industry. They know that the consumer feels that way about them. So something from my background to consider. Okay. Thoughts of Denver receivers. We talked about Denver receivers. Enough.
We got them.
There's a big problem. It's in my article tomorrow. There's a lot of problems. Not good. The Denver receivers. Okay. From Brett, how do you feel about Aaron Jones' usage? It feels like he's okay. There's the whole thing about Aaron Jones' usage.
I mean,
I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I feel, no, this is not good. 15.
You look at the box score after. It was all right the past couple of weeks, and then tonight it was just.
The fantasy numbers were there, but the carries were not there.
You got the touchdowns. That's about it.
I mean, I've been out on Aaron Jones forever, so I think I'm just going to stay out.
I agree. I mean, it's tough to buy in when you're getting.
If anyone's just looking at the fantasy points,
it looks good.
So you might have a sell opportunity. We talked about Amon-Ra. What about Nico Collins?
I mean, he had a good game today, if I'm not mistaken. Was it?
Yeah, 5 for 69, 10 targets.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty.
I've always said that like Cooks is gonna go somewhere, like probably not this season, but next season.
Who had the second most catches for the Texans after Brandon Cooks?
Was it Brevin Jordan? No, he had a couple. He had a touchdown too.
Yeah, 4 for 26 and 1 for Jordan. But no, who had 6 catches for the Texans?
Oh gosh, wasn't
he
Chris
played on another team this year?
Played on another team this year. It wasn't one of the running backs. Wasn't one of the tight ends.
Oh, you won't get it because you probably don't. Because you probably don't know the players on the Texans.
I default to Danny Amendola, and he's not on the team anymore.
Royce Freeman.
I did see that he played. I didn't know he got 6 receptions.
6 receptions, yeah.
Wow.
But I like Nico Collins. I don't think. Okay, Nico Collins is not going to be the kind of player you can trade for. Not directly. You could get him as a throw-in piece, but on a really big deal. But you're not going to be able to trade for him directly. Nico Collins is someone we're talking about when we talk about a startup. We're talking about he was someone I'm going to draft onto my team this offseason. Someone I'd be interested in drafting onto my team. Amon-Ra, we talked about already.
Yep.
Thoughts on Chubb long term? I mean, I'm pretty out on him.
I agree. You know how much I despise that offense.
He doesn't get the passing game work, and if he doesn't score, it's a bust. I'm good. I'll pass. Someone I'm never going to draft anyway.
I'm shocked that you didn't absolutely just tear through Baltimore today. I'm stunned.
But he didn't.
Exactly.
Thoughts on Eli Mitchell long term? I think we've talked about Mitchell a lot. Mitchell's the man in that backfield.
Mitchell is the man. I know it's been a hot convo on Twitter, and I know I have him higher than I have him as a low RB1, like high RB2. I had this discussion. I don't think they're going to replace him next year.
No, I don't either.
But it's different. It's different from Robinson, but I know people are.
You talking about the discussion where he was compared to Montgomery?
Yeah, I think.
Well, what was said there? That Montgomery was worth more or something, and it wasn't even close.
I honestly don't remember. But
I wanted to reply. I wanted to be like, "You're right. It's not close. It's not in the direction you think."
Like,
but I was being very good, and it was very quiet, and they did not respond.
They whiffed on draft capital this year, so like I know the Rams did it 2 years in a row with Henderson and Akers, but that was like an extreme outlier.
I'm not worried about a challenge to Elijah Mitchell unless it came in the first round, like the Jaguars did with Etienne. I don't think there's any running back selected in the first round this year.
I don't think there is either.
So I'm not concerned.
And I think Mitchell could beat out all of them. Came down to it. So
agreed.
And I like this class a lot. So
this one is not a question.
Christian Kirk. So
it's Christian Kirk or irrelevant player B. I need a nickname for Terrace Marshall.
I'm not good at nicknames, so
yeah. Well, we'll call him Terrace Failure until I have a good one. I think what's my best one? Minimal. I think Minimal is one of my best. Denzel Minimal. Minimal, not good. Or Carson Wentz or Carson Wentz.
I don't think he had a catch today, but I turned on that game and I saw Denzel Mims getting a penalty called on him.
Well, he managed to be penalized without actually scoring. Goose egg. He had a goose egg, but Braxton Berrios had 6 for 52 on 10 targets. And someone named DJ Montgomery had 6 targets, 3 for 36. But Minimal didn't catch the ball. Not happy with Minimal. But yeah, Terrace Marshall is the next Minimal. So, no thank you. Have I ever heard of Craig, whoever the fuck, for the Lions? Craig Reynolds. Yes, I'd heard of him. No, I don't know a lot about him. Yes, you have to pick him up this week. Does that summarize the opinion on Craig Reynolds? Good enough?
Yeah. I think you covered it.
Who should I look for on waivers, especially tight end? So waivers is generally, I haven't gotten to that yet. Especially a tight end. Are we talking like Dynasty or redraft?
I would assume redraft.
Who would you pick up at tight end in redraft then?
I'm looking at my wire because I feel like it'd be comparable.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, Austin Hooper's there, but he shouldn't have been, so I'm not going to count that. I mean,
I'm not that excited to pick him up anyway.
No.
People were victory lapping what from Austin Hooper? 5 for 30 and a touchdown? That's worthy of a victory lap. Yeah.
I mean, nope. I think he missed the boat on tight end with Knox and Schultz and Freiermuth.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like that was the opportunity to grab a tight end.
Who even could still be out there at this point? That's worth it.
I mean, Foster Moreau, if Waller misses another game, I mean, he didn't look good either.
What did Foster Moreau do?
Exactly. I mean,
nothing really.
I mean, Brevin Jordan got 7 targets. You get bank on that again.
I can't trust him.
I know, but these are the options, though. So, like, this is like the best.
Yeah, Komet maybe, but he didn't do much.
You didn't know.
Let's just say it's Dynasty though. You have anyone good for Dynasty, kind of on your deep radar?
Deep. I mean,
because I do.
You brought up John Bates last week.
It did, and he didn't do anything this week, did he?
No, he did not. I mean,
he got 1 catch, 2 targets. Actually, it's not bad.
It's not terrible. I mean,
but
good. deep, but that's not even for like this year. I have Tyree Jackson in all my leagues. I just like the profile.
We talked about Tyree Jackson a lot.
Yeah, no.
You know, I like this one. I actually like better than Tyree Jackson.
Interesting. I'm intrigued.
Josiah DeGara. I like him.
I mean, he's got the draft capital.
Yeah. Just something to consider. Someone to keep in mind. Just keep him in mind, like on the back of your Dynasty roster. Just remember his name. That's all.
I remember he was supposed to play fullback.
Well, I don't think he's playing fullback.
No. He was supposed to, though.
I don't know. 10-team PPR Dynasty offered Monty and Penny for Ayuk, Frymuth, and first-round pick. No. Ayuk side. Easily. You didn't need the first-round pick for it to be the Ayuk side.
Yeah, I agree.
This we talked about. Maybe we beat this horse to death. Well, this is a better question. Okay.
That's good.
Well, not better. It's just we haven't talked about this.
Yeah, we haven't talked
This
about
is a good theoretical question because it's less about the players specifically. Okay, Brett again. So, how do you weigh Trey Lance's upside against Mac Jones' floor? Well, Mac Jones' floor is Mac Jones does not have a safe floor. Trey Lance is the one who actually has a safe floor week to week because of rushing upside. Mac Jones' floor is 0. You saw that.
Yeah, we have seen that. I mean, Trey Lance is picked too high to not start like next year. Like it'll be ridiculous if we get to that point. I don't think we will, but
I'm not sure that in Superflex, Mac Jones ever ranks as a quarterback 1 because he's never going to rank as a quarterback 1. Like, how much is youth and years worth? I mean, I rank Mac Jones right now in Superflex at quarterback 14.
I think that's like his ceiling. I don't think you could put him much higher.
I think it's his ceiling, but I also think it's his floor. I think it's the right ranking, even though it's his ceiling.
If you talked to me in 6 years and said you still had Mac Jones at quarterback 14, I would not be shocked at all.
No, I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
I mean, and Trey Lance, I mean, he could crack that top tier.
I have Trey Lance still at 10, so.
Yeah. Because Trey Lance does have that potential to crack with his rushing ability.
All right, let's take these last two. They're both about James Robinson. So I don't know what this is trying to say, but something about James Robinson in next week. Who do the Jaguars play next week?
I do not know.
Next week is Houston.
Oh, that is a fire matchup.
All right, and then here, what the hell do I do, J. Robert or Master? So, can you start James Robinson against Houston?
I mean, I think you have to.
You have to, right? Because this is the same thing that we went through with Myles Gaskin earlier in the year. Yes, it sucks. Yes, you're risking a 0 or close to it. Yes, you're going to start James Robinson against Houston anyway. Because someone's going to carry the ball. There's a good chance it's going to go better than it did this time, and it's probably not going to be Carlos Hyde. So, unfortunately, you're going to go back to J-Rob next week. Sucks, but you will.
Yeah. Hopefully it's better. It can't get much worse, like you said. Like, honestly, I know it's Jacksonville, and it could.
Oh, I totally could.
But odds are, I mean, who else is going to start? Like, there's not many options. You spent premium capital on James Robinson. And
you can start Saquon Barkley instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's an option. I mean, Saquon Barkley could be an option. Right? I mean,
this is playoffs, isn't it?
Playoffs on the line. You're going to put against the Cowboys, Giants against the Cowboys. You're going to put your playoffs in Saquon Barkley's hands? You want to do that?
You don't want to do that, but you have to do that.
Yeah, right? You don't want to, but you have to.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be anyone else unless you had like.
But if you had to choose between those two players, would you start James Robinson against the Texans or Saquon Barkley against the Cowboys?
I will probably have Saquon ranked higher come Thursday.
I don't think I will.
We'll disagree on that on Thursday.
Yeah. Saquon didn't even look good this time. He did a little bit better, but I can't help but notice that it just seems like Devontae Booker is just as good. The only thing that's helping Saquon now is volume. He didn't look good on the volume he received.
see what I feel like. I don't know. I don't trust Urban Meyer. I don't
Well,
think we
remember. Well, I mean, you trust the Giants coaching staff.
no, but
Remember that running back volume is given mostly, whereas wide receiver targets are earned. So Saquon is. I think that Saquon would have less volume if it were being earned. If volume were given to who deserved it, I think he would have less, not more. I think it would be more of a 50-50 split between him and Devontae Booker. Which is, just go over how mind-blowing that is. That those words just came out of my mouth. That I think the team would be better giving Devontae Booker more carries. Those words just came out of my mouth.
How far we have come.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, what is this? Oh, we did that already. Okay. Well, before I pull a once-in-a-lifetime stunt and fall asleep live on the show, I just appreciate everyone who stuck with me through this interesting show. I feel like I was on the calmer side, but also kind of on the ranty side today. So I just appreciate everyone who stuck with me through that. You guys know where to find me. Twitter's right down there. There.
I don't think I said that.
Oh, it is. That's the worst part. So yeah, Ryan, tell them where they can find you.
Well, you can find me. Nope, wrong hand. You can find me right here at my Twitter at RyanPros_FF. We're still talking about the newsroom. We're still trying to get that up, and then the Dynasty Vipers. Yep, soon.
People demand it.
Yep, and of course you could find me here Thursdays and Sundays.
We're gonna send the people with their picket sign. Their pickets. They're gonna send the picket sign to the fantasy newsroom offices until the show is put back on the air. I don't even know if that makes no sense, but it's 2 a.m.
It is 2 a.m.
I think it can make no sense if I want to. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, listening. If you're watching later, just hit it with a like and a subscribe, please. It would really, really help. It would make me so happy. But other than that, I love you all. Hope you won your weeks. And playoffs.
We'll be back on Thursday.
Next week, I'll be there for you all. I promise. I will be there for this exciting time of year. Anyway. Peace.
See you.